So keep on going with your silly dream by Piter on AO3. Read by Lily6645. This fic may include suicidal thoughts. That is your warning. Chapter 28. Trouble in the Convenience Store. It was 9:30 p.m. Just 30 more minutes, and he could get rid of the elephant anxiety sitting on his chest. Was he panicking? At least he got approval to bring Stroke to the store. Under the arrangement, more people would come if there was a cat. At least a fuzzy, warm creature meant Izuku wasn't completely alone. He felt a small smile creep on his face. He wasn't alone. Uraraka was his best friend. Mirako and Hawks had said Izuku could be a hero. President Mike talks about him, apparently. So this is where you work. The voice sounded unimpressed. Izuku jumped, jerking his head away from the microwave and meeting the eyes of Shinso. He grinned sheepishly. Yeah, gotta feed my cat. Yeah, just the cat, of course. Food is provided for me by my parents. Izuku internally face-palmed. Sure. Izuku quickly scanned the bag of gummies, bears, and Sprite. $5. The teens quickly exchanged the money for the treats. So, I know you got in, but how'd you do on the entrance exam? Didn't take 'em. Got in through Dad's recommendation, Shinso explained, shrugging. Gotta get home, though, or Hazashi'll get worried. Oh, okay. Bye, Shinso. And yet, before he fully exited, he paused and turned back around. Shinso stared at him, long and hard. If not for the purple hair and height difference, Izuku would think Eraserhead himself was glaring at him. Shinso? Are you bleeding? No. Izuku felt his mind detach from his body. Damn it. You gotta keep your guard up. Now, are you bleeding out right now, Deku? Shinso asked, frustration coating his words. Yes. It's choked, and Izuku resists the whole way. He's slammed back into his body. Again? Shinso raised an eyebrow. Izuku didn't feel upset, per se. He didn't feel happy either. It was as if pure energy was flowing from his heart into his limbs, burning, but not in a painful way. He had got stabbed, then barely slept, popping a stitch, then had to deal with a bunch of assholes today. And now Shinso brainwashed him to get the one thing he was trying to hide at the moment. Izuku was pissed. Get out, he stated quietly, fists clenched and shaking. Shinso blinked. You're bleeding. You should get the fuck out. We're closed. Go brainwash someone else, asshole. Izuku snapped, standing up. He knew he should stop right now. His legs moved and he shoved Shinso the rest of the way out the door. He slammed the lock and locked it. He didn't look back, walking straight to the corner and picking up Stroke. Izuku shakily sat down behind the counter. He couldn't breathe. This was becoming too common of an occurrence to be a simple coincidence anymore. Stroke continued to meow and purr, kneading against Izuku's chest. He sniffled, feeling a tear slide down his cheek. God, he had pushed Shinso. He was only trying to help. Damn it! Izuku felt like an asshole. He felt like Bakugo. 2:47 a.m. Hey, Shinso, I'm so sorry. I know you were just trying to help. I had no business putting my hands on you. I really didn't mean it. I was having a horrible day, and it was just so much, I guess. I know this doesn't excuse it, but I hope we can still talk and be friends in the future. Red, 3 a.m. It's fine. It was my fault. I shouldn't have done that without asking you. My bad for pushing you and making you ask shit you weren't ready to tell me. Red, 3:05 a.m. Thank you, Shinso. Again, it wasn't an excuse to put my hands on you. So I'm sorry. I'm glad we're good then. Red, 3:13 a.m. We're good, right? I'm so sorry for assuming. Red, 3:13 a.m. Yep, we're good. Good night. Red, 3:17 a.m. Good night. Red, 3:18 a.m. Izuku sighed in relief, sliding the phone back into his pocket. Now that was taken care of, he can run towards a particularly rowdy pair. Damn drunk people. He wondered what Shinso truly thought of Izuku's outburst. He didn't think he wanted to find out. That was the end of chapter 28 of So Keep On Going With Your Silly Dream by Piter on AO3. On to the next chapter. Chapter 29, First Day at UA, Side A. Izuku woke up drowsily, scrubbing at his eyes. What time was it? Why the hell was he up so... A series of buzzes quickly answered his question. He yawned so wide his jaw clicked, resulting in a mildly judgmental gaze from Stroke. It was Uraraka, a long, quick string of texts detailing the first part of the morning. Izuku shook his head. When was the last time he woke up before 1 p.m.? He wasn't built for this. 7:30. In class 1A, I'm so nervous. Red, 10:39 p.m. Ida, a guy I met at the exams, is in here too. He seems nice. I think you guys would get along. Smiley face. Red, 10:39 p.m. He just yelled at some blonde guy to get his feet off the desk. Laughing face emoji, laughing face emoji, laughing face emoji. Red, 10:39 p.m. Our sensei is a hobo. OMG? Help? Red, 10:39 p.m. Never mind, he's some hero called Eraserhead. Lame name. Better than hobo, I guess. Red, 10:39 p.m. I'm gonna punt this little grape kid genuinely. Red, 10:39 p.m. One of is gonna get expelled. I'm scared. Scared face emoji. Red, 10:39 p.m. I ate the softball throw up. Flexing emoji. Infinity flexing emoji. Red, 10:39 p.m. I survived! So did the grape unimpressed emoji. No one got expelled. He lied. I hope he doesn't do that again. My heart can't take it. Frowny face, sweating emoji, frowny face. Red 10:30 p.m. Let's meet up later if you can, please. I want to talk IRL. Red 10:39 p.m. Izuku laughed at the dramatic step by step he was provided with. He eagerly began typing back. 10:40. Yeah, I'm free later. Day off today. I'm glad you survived, lol. I hear Eraserhead can be pretty rough. I know someone who knows him. He's underground and actually really cool. I know you're probably in class now, but again, good job, Uraraka. Have fun today. It was nice to have a friend. He shot a quick text asking Shinso how his day had been before forcing himself up. Stroke yowled in protest. He shut up real fast when Izuku ruffled his food. He sighed. Izuku was raising a big back. They let someone like that into UA? Izuku questioned, appalled. Now Izuku wanted to kick the grape kid's ass too. I know. He harassed the girls the whole day. This kid in my class, Shinso, I know, has a brainwashing quirk. He got Mineta to spin in a circle for like 10 minutes straight before Aizawa made him stop. They both giggled, trying to keep it down. They were in a restaurant. It was only McDonald's, but they weren't heathens. So, how's everyone else? They all seem nice. Me, Ida, and Sue sat together at lunch. I do kind of wish you were there, though. You'd fit right in. Izuku felt his heart clench. Yeah, he wished he were there too. This one blonde kid was kind of feral? No way. This wasn't about to go where Izuku thought it was. His quirk is amazing, though. He can make explosions since he sweats nitroglycerin. I think his name was Bakugo? He took a large bite of his spicy McCrispy, swallowing the emotions rising in his throat with it. Oh, cool! I still can't believe Mr. Aizawa tricked us. One day, I'm just not gonna believe anything he says. Uraraka huffed, pouting. I think I'd have an anxiety attack, Izuku chuckled. Exactly! I swear, I almost did. But I placed pretty high, so I relaxed by then. I knew you would. You're gonna be a great hero. Some stupid test won't change that. Can we spar again soon? I want to get better. Uraraka smiled darkly, causing a shudder to go down his spine. He forgot Uraraka could be scary. Yeah, sure. Uraraka looked up at him, beaming. Thanks, Deku. Seriously, I haven't said it, but, well, I'm really happy we met and became besties. You make me so much more confident in myself, and talking to you is always so... Oh no, I made you cry. I'm sorry. No, it's... Izuku sniffed. It's okay, I'm happy. Really, like, being your bestie too. Izuku desperately needed to stop crying so much. It was becoming an issue. Izuku crossed his arms, staring at the stars above him. Bakugo was at UA, and it didn't sound like he's changed. Izuku should be happy for him anyways. God, he was just so jealous and even more pissed. Why couldn't he have a quirk, even a small one? Anything was better than being quirkless. Then there was his childhood friend, Bully? With a brilliant one that made him shine like a star even whilst he burnt all those around him. He wondered if Bakugo would still like him if Izuku had a quirk. Izuku whipped to his left at the noise and got ready to scream as Aizawa sat a good distance from him on the ledge. "You're a kid," Eraserhead stated plainly. "You don't talk, but not because you can't. It's in an effort to better protect any revealing details like age or gender, but you're bad at it." And rambled to two of the 4 heroes who can't keep their mouths shut. "You can't be older than 3rd year, if my assumptions are correct." Izuku shrugged at the searching look. It was deafeningly silent. Despite Eraserhead being after him, and yet he was after Izuku now, genuinely. He'd had to continuously outrun or hide from the hero lately, but Izuku couldn't help but relax. This is the man that had patched and fed him. A complete stranger. A man who was worried when Yahoo was supposed to be dead. Eraserhead, the same person who hugged his boyfriend, roommate, husband, whatever they were, for comfort. Basically, Izuku was well aware Aizawa was a huge softie at heart. "Why vigilantism? I don't get it," the man finally grunted. "You don't hold a grudge against heroes. From what Hawks and Mirko says, you're fit and clearly smart. Hell, I'd be thrilled to have a student like you in my class. So why not apply to a hero school?" The vigilante's heart seemed to be stuck in his throat with how loud it was. Izuku plunged off the roof and onto the fire escape, sprinting into one of the many back alleyways. Eraserhead didn't follow him. Izuku tried not to feel disappointed. That was the end of chapter 29 of So Keep On Going With Your Silly Dream by Piter on AO3. On to the next chapter. Chapter 30, First Day at UA, Side B. 0 months. Bakugo smacked a hand against his alarm clock, barely resisting from blowing it up. It would be the 5th one this month, and he was sick of getting chewed out over them. Not like he needed one after the damn sludge villain. He'd been awake a good hour before the thing had gone off, but laid still for the sake of routine. If he suddenly switched up, the damn hag would be all up his business. He forgoes checking his phone, instead shedding his sleep clothes for running clothes. Not like he wanted to talk to those stupid extras. It was normal, ordinary morning. Then he got back from his run. "Katsuki!" Bakugo's mom called out, one hand on her hip, the other holding a phone. "What?" "Have you heard from Izuku?" "Huh?" "I don't talk to that shitty nerd." "He's missing, brat. Don't call him shitty like that. Hey, I'm talking to..." Bakugo blinked before snarling, "I don't give a shit." He ignored the annoying shouts and stormed into his room, gathering his uniform and showering. He'd probably be found by this afternoon. Nerd probably just wanted the attention. Why the hell would Bakugo worry about it? He grabbed his phone, scoffing at the notification. Speak of the devil. Fucking Deku had called him and left a voicemail. A voicemail. Who the hell even leaves those anymore? Bakugo swept his phone open, fingers hovering over the delete button. He didn't make contact, his mom's words echoing in his head. He plugged in his earbuds and pressed play. 1 month. Bakugo hadn't told anybody about the voicemail or about its implications, despite the way it had become a soundtrack to his daily life. He didn't tell them when nightmares of the sludge monster shifted and blurred to Deku, falling, 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 too fast for Bakugo to catch him. The way his green head of hair smacked against concrete, or how his mangled body bounced from the impact. No, because Bakugo didn't care about some quirkless stalker he'd bullied. Not at all. He'd been eating and sleeping a normal amount. He wasn't overworking himself, despite what his parents thought. He didn't give a damn about these shitty appointments anyways. The class hadn't quite talked about how the quirkless freak had finally taken Bakugo's advice. He skipped the rest of his classes that day. 2 months. His parents had been staring, and they'd been home more than ever. It was fucking bizarre. "So, your teacher called," his father began. "Said you'd been quiet." "So fucking what?" Bakugo snapped, standing so face his chair, scraping against the floor. He wasn't sure why he was so pissed. "We're worried about you, damn brat." His mother stood him just as fast, and her glare was 3 times worse than his. He had learned it from her, after all. "I'll kill you. I don't need your fucking pity." Bakugo marched up the stairs, slamming the door shut and locking it. He didn't cry. He wasn't like shitty Deku. His eyes just wet a little. 3 months. Bakugo scrubbed a hand down his face, brushing off the visions haunting his sleep. He wasn't some bitch. He didn't need 8 hours anyway. The clock read 4:27 a.m. The blonde wasn't stupid. He wasn't getting any more sleep today. He stopped giving a shit last month whether the hag and his father interrogated him over his changed schedule. They didn't ask after he, quite literally, blew up at them. Bakugo didn't care. He didn't. He wasn't some weakling. He plugged in his earbuds and began his run. Uh, hey, Kachan, I know you said 5 months. You guys really think that the nerd went off somewhere and did the world a favor? Karage mused from next to Bakugo. The lead of Bakugo's pencil snapped. It was a miracle the blonde hadn't simply blown it to pieces.
I know.
Another extra snorted.
It's been like months now. Hopefully he's dead.
I wish I could have seen it. I always say All Might's my favorite, and that he's number 1, but, well, you're mine. Bakugo had never felt pure, unadulterated rage like this. Sure, he lost his temper and exploded shit, but this feeling coursing through his veins, he wondered why anger was considered red, because this was white hot. He blinked, his own pants echoing around him. He was on top of a crying Keiji. His nose was bleeding and crooked, and bruises had already begun blossoming. One of Bakugo's hands gripping his shirt collar, despite his trembling hands attempting to pry it off. The other was raised, preparing to strike again. Don't fucking talk about him, you hear me? Bakugo roared, yanking and slamming the boy against the floor. Teachers had arrived, and some weak-ass bitches were trying to pull him off. That goes for all you extras. Talk about Deku again, and I'll fucking kill you. People backed up, all white faces and gasps, as if Bakugo was some rabid animal. He sure as hell felt like one. His misdeeds were quickly outshined by an earthquake. The vigilante Yahoo was dead, killed by a hero. What a fucking joke. 6 months. It was Sunday when the 6-month mark hit. Katsuki didn't move from his bed, his morning run, or for his breakfast. He ignored his father telling his goodbyes and the pounding knocks from his mother. He didn't come down for lunch either. He had no desire to eat or move or exist. Not that it was because of Deku. Fuck. It's somehow been 6 months. It felt like longer. He knew the asses at school had noticed his silence after his breakdown last month. His goons had stopped following him around. Hell, if not for his quirk, he'd probably be where Deku was before he left. Bakugo found he didn't mind. He didn't need them anyway. He didn't need anyone. A soft knock on his door. Get lost, hag. Katsuki. Bakugo opened his eyes in confusion at the unusually soft tone. You need to come eat something. He glared at the door as if she could see him. You aren't the boss of me. If you don't get your ass down here, I'll break down this door and drag you to the table myself. You have 10 minutes. Bakugo heard his mother stomp away. He rolled over and curled into a ball. He wondered what the nerd ate tonight, if he was alive. Maybe he offed himself months ago. The cops had simply declared him missing, not dead. The teen wasn't sure he agreed with them. Who was the one that put that stupid idea in Izuku's head in the first place? Bakugo refused to look at his door as it slammed open, refused to show his surely shitty-looking face. Had it been 10 minutes already? Fuck Katz! The bed dipped where his mother sat. Piss off. Not hungry. Don't give me that shit. Kid, listen. I know I haven't been here and I was a bitch to you. I've been really shitty. Bakugo almost snorted, but held it in. But me and Masaru are worried, and I'm fucking here now. It isn't pity. We're your parents, damn it. We're allowed to worry. I'm fine, Mom. Bakugo groaned into his pillow. You aren't. You barely sleep. Don't you dare lie to me. I know you do. And eat less? Hell, you never hang out with friends anymore. Your grades are slipping 'cause you overwork that brain of yours, not to mention how hard you push yourself in training. Bakugo winced, knowing she was referring to his small fighting episode only a week prior. Just Katsuki. A warm hand is pressed against his arm. To his horror, he can feel a few tears slipping down his face. Talk to us. It doesn't make you weak or any of that other shit you make up in your head. Fucking snappy. Bakugo would later blame it on the lack of food and sleep. He sat up and hugged his mom for the first time since he was 4. For the first time since his mom got sick and got better. Her arms tightened around him as if he was still young, as if he hadn't drove his best friend to suicide. He sobbed into her shoulder. 8 months. The blonde paused at a park bench to take a small break for water. Bakugo had began eating more again, and conditioning his body and quirk harder than ever. Fuck all these kids at school. He had more time to train now anyways. He had 2 months until he needed to blow all those fancy schools away. He'd be the first kid from Aldera to make it to UA. I know you'll get into UA. Plus Ultra, right? Some naive part of him prayed that he'd spot wild green hair and freckles in the entrance exams. He clicked rapidly and resumed his run. Hey, Kachan, I know you said 10 months. The entrance exams, both written and physical, were a breeze. He was the top scorer of the practical, just as he thought. None of these extras would get the best of him. Bakugo was getting into UA. He thought he'd feel more excited. He was, of course, but some part of him just felt numb. He was tired. At least his hag would, with luck, get off his ass. You're still my brother. That won't change. I'm sorry I ruined us, though. He thought of the empty set next to him. He wished he wasn't the only kid from his middle school going to UA. UA Day 1. Take your feet off that desk now. Bakugo glanced up at the extra with a smirk. He was a little taller than the blonde himself and absolutely fuming at Bakugo throwing his feet onto a desk. This would be fun. Huh? It's the first day of school, and you're already disrespecting this academy by scuffing school property, you cretin. Cretin? Was this guy fucking 70? You're kidding me, right? Bakugo scoffed. Your old school put a stick up your ass? Or were you born with it? The blue-haired kid looked appalled for a moment before his face shifted into a friendlier, more diplomatic expression. Let's start over. Fat chance. He gave the hand held out a judgmental eye. I'm Tenya Ida from the semi-private academy. Semi, huh? So you must think you're better than me. I'm gonna have fun tearing you a new one. Ida gasped, pulling his hand away from Bakugo. You would threaten me? Your own classmate? Are you sure you're in the right place? No, he wasn't, he scoffed, glancing away in irritation. This wouldn't be the first time he threatened a classmate, would it? Fuck. He'd wanted to be better, and he was already starting problems. The blue-haired extra marched to the door and began talking to some girl. Maybe they knew each other. Bakugo didn't give a shit. He glanced over a short minute later, only to see everyone had stopped talking. Bakugo snarled at some hobo in a sleeping bag, rambled about how they weren't here to make friends and how precious time was. He introduced himself as Shota Aizawa. Again, Bakugo was ready to get started. He didn't really give a shit. Bakugo had, of course, been number 1. It was closer than he'd wished, but he was still way better than the other losers. He ignored the looks he received at his aggressive attitude. It was nothing new. He was here to become the number 1 hero, not make friends with weaklings. He'd shown them all that Bakugo Katsuki was a fucking hero, and he was right where he needed to be. Maybe, just maybe, if he saved people and became better than he was, became a hero, it would whip some of the red from his ledger. Maybe Izuku would be proud. Bakugo plugged his earbuds in. Hey, Kachan, I know you said... That is the end of chapter 30 of So Keep On Going With Your Silly Dream by Piter on AO3. If you like this, please go support the original author. Link in the description below. Thank you so much for listening.